Hey guys, thanks for sticking around. One of the things I wanted to point out, if you notice we're keeping the rod tips really low to the water. These fish like to hide in structure, so when you do get a bite, you want to be able to swing on them really hard and high and pull them right up out of that structure.
Oh, I got a big one, John. Oh, son of a...
If you're interested in the rig that we're using here, I'm going to show you at the end of the video how to tie one up.
Oh, there's a better one, John. Not a keeper, but at least it's better than we've been getting. At least it's big enough to eat the hook. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Nah, it's had a good rush and nothing was. There you go. Another thing. Thanks for giving me a spot. These are the little ones that we're taking off the bait. I had to put an end to them so we can get to the big ones. You don't catch the little ones, you can't catch the big ones. You gotta get through all the little ones. It's like chess. You gotta get through the pawns to get to the king and the queen.
Another good tip, if you notice as I lower my bait into the water, I drop the rod tip down as well, and I'm constantly searching and feeling for the bottom. I'm always looking for structure or someplace, a nook, a cranny, and I'm really feeling around with the weight in the rod tip to try to find that perfect spot.
It's on top. It's on top. Never mind. Never mind, I got it.
Hey everybody, thanks for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got some good info out of that as well. Like I promised, I'm going to show you how to tie up the rig that we were using in the video. This is the rig that we were using, or that I used for most of the time that I was out. It's basically a single hook rig. I'm going to show you how to use it. The nice thing I like about this rig and the way I tie it, if you notice, the connection between the weight and the line can be very tight, but even more importantly, when the weight is on the bottom, your connection to the fish is also very tight. Okay, so there's nothing that gets in the way of that. A couple of little things that I'd like to add is, in addition to using a weight on the bottom, you can easily slide this weight off, grab yourself a little jig, slide the jig on in place of the weight, and now you have a nice high-low rig. So as you can see here, it's a very nice high-low. Okay, you have your jig on the bottom, you have your top hook. When this is tight to the line, okay, you'll have a direct connection here. You'll also have a direct connection there. So it'll be a very sensitive rig to use. It's very simple to tie. I'm going to show you how to tie it right now. So all you're going to need, what I like to use is some 50-pound Andy. I'm a preference to Andy. I've been using it for 40 years and it's never let me down. So 50-pound Andy, the weight, any weight that you're going to use depending on the depth that you're fishing. And I prefer to use the Gamakatsu octopus circle hooks. I like to use circle hooks, even though with Tautog and Blackfish, you usually catch them in the mouth because they're not big eaters. They don't really swallow the bait. They kind of peck at it. With a circle hook, you're sure you're going to get them in the lip or in the corner of the mouth. And with the amount of shorts you catch blackfishing and the amount of fish that you let go, I really recommend you use a circle hook, just for conservation purposes and ethical purposes. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to use this thick yellow fly line here because it'll demonstrate much more easily than the clear monofilament. So what you want to do is you want to tie yourself a dropper loop. And the way I tie a dropper loop, if you have two ends of a line, and you could start with any amount of line you want. You could start with a 2-foot piece, a 3-foot piece, because you're going to trim the ends to suit your needs, okay? So easier, give yourself more line than you think you're going to need, because you can always cut some off. You can't add any once you've cut it. So make yourself a dropper loop, and the way I make a dropper loop when there's nothing on either end of the line, the easiest way is just to tie a simple overhand knot and twist that knot 10 times. So as you can see, I bring the overhand knot over 10 times. Okay, after you've done your 10th wrap, you want to find your center point. The center point in all the wraps is somewhere about there. Now this is a three-handed operation, so I'm going to use my teeth. But you'll pull the middle loop. See how I pull the middle loop through the loop I created at the center point. Again, there's your center point. Pull your middle loop right through. Once you have the middle loop through, you're going to grab that in your teeth. So I'm going to go off camera for a second. And you want to pull all three ends at the same time. So you're going to pull your center loop and to two tag ends at the same time. And it should cinch up like this. Now, if you notice, there's a beautiful knot right here, okay? And you can see I have a few more wraps on the top than the bottom, so I didn't split that exactly even. There's actually only 7 wraps there, so I was a few wraps shy. But for the purpose of video, it should work out just fine. Once you have your center loop in, what you want to do is now you're just going to tie a simple overhand loop. So you fold that over and you tie once, twice. This is going to be the connection for your weight or your jig. Once you pull that nice and tight, you want to trim your tag end. Okay? And then you're going to go to the top. Now for the top loop, I like to make a little bit of different knot. Some people, you can certainly use another double overhand knot like this to achieve your desired result. But my favorite knot is something I don't call it, but something called a perfection loop. And a perfection loop is a very simple knot, okay? So you make a loop in the line and you wrap the line around the loop. Once you wrap the line around the loop, you have 2 loops. You can see 1 and you can see 2. You take the tag end of the line and you fold that over. Now you'll see you have 3 loops. 1, 2, 3. You take the loop that's closest to you and pull it through the loop that's furthest from you. And as you pull it, it tightens down, and there you go. It's a much cleaner knot. It's also a much stronger knot. You trim your tag end, okay? Now you're left with something that looks like this. So you'll have 3 loops. What I like to do, you can certainly, if you have a hook, you certainly can fold that loop in half, okay? And I'm just using the weight for demonstration purposes. Slide that through, okay? And there's your hook. So you have your weight on the bottom with your hook there. What I like to do, only because I like to have the bait swing a little more freely, is I'll take the line that has on the top, and if you see here, there's a knot, there's a top line and a bottom line. Okay? Top line and a bottom line. I take the line that's closest to the connection point and I trim that away. To this bitter end or tag end, that's where I attach my hook. Again, is going to look like this. I want to thank you guys for sticking around. I hope you guys got a little bit of information out of this knot tying video, and I hope to see you again on our next video. Thanks for coming out.